Hello and welcome to the Late Night Cameron Hawk Show. Now tonight is a special night because it's our first show out of lockdown. Yes, it's been a long road to get here, I know folks. We have a very special show lined up for you tonight. Spanish comedian Manuel Garza will be here. From the Pink Panther films himself, Mr. Inspector Cluso will be joining us. A dear friend of mine, Mr. Keith Lemon, will also be here tonight. But now, please welcome our first guest of the evening. He's come all the way from Italy. He's been the face of Nintendo for 36 years. Please welcome Mr. Super Mario! So, Mario, welcome to the Late Night Show.
Thank you for having me, Mr. Hawks.
How have you been coping during the current lockdown?
Well, not great, of course. Being stuck inside when you're jumping a mushroom for a living is not great.
So, how is it being back outside in the open world again after being stuck indoors for so long?
Oh, it is brilliant. I'm finally to be able to defeat that monster once and for all. Yahoo!
So, is it true that back in the early 1980s, you were known as Jumpman?
Oh, yes. In those days I used my original name, but the US Nintendo executives want me to use a more memorable name.
Well, thank you for coming all this way here tonight, Mario.
Thank you for having me. It's my pleasure. My pleasure.
Time for a quick break now, folks, but don't go away as we have our next guest, Keith Lemon, joining us for a chat on the phone. See you in a couple of minutes, folks. Welcome back. Our next guest tonight has done it all. From starting his own comedy sketch show to starring in his own comedy movie, please welcome my dear friend, Mr. Keith Lemon. Keith, my friend, welcome to the Late Night Show.
Ooh, thanks for having me, Mr. Hawks.
So, what have you actually been doing while stuck inside for the past 5 months?
Oh, well, you know what? Not bloody much. I guess all people can do during lockdown is spend time with your loved ones. However, I did give an update to me fans on my social media.
Yeah, I saw that video. Really good way to keep your fans updated.
Thank you, my friend.
Now, speaking of updates, Schedule 3. What's happening?
Oh, well, if a Bond film can be 2 years late to the big screen, then so can I.
Okay then, but you went to New York and Washington in 2019. Now it's 2021. Won't that feel weird to release it now?
Oh, don't be such a hawk, Mr. Hawks.
Keith, I'm only asking. I'm curious.
All right then. I don't think it will be weird, to be honest with you.
Now, why is that?
Well, given this bloody awful pandemic, British people will just be excited to see a celebrity tour in America.
Before we have our next break, what do you plan to do next now we're free from our homes?
Oh, well, I'm going to continue to do Celebrity Juice and shopping with me, Keith Lemon. Oh, thank goodness we have breaks on this show. I've really got to go do a number Tuesday.
Well, you know what? That's what the actual breaks are for. Thanks for coming out here to the Late Night Show.
It's been wonderful, my friend. Such an honour.
Coming up, Spanish comedian Manuel Garza will be here for a chat. You won't want to miss it, folks. Welcome back to the show. Now, our next guest tonight has only just become a comedian not so long ago. He's toured across Spain and Mexico before the pandemic. He's just learning English. Please welcome Manuel Garza. So, Manuel, welcome to the late night show.
Gracias, Senor Hux.
How well have you been learning your English?
¿Qué? I know nothing.
Are you getting better at your English?
Sí, I learn.
Okay then, now, is it true that you were a Spanish waiter before you became a comedian back in the early 1970s?
Sí, senor. I was a waiter at a hotel for a time before I became a comedian.
That's brilliant to hear. Might I ask what the hotel was called?
It was called Balti Towers. I worked for a guy called Basil Balti and his wife Sybil.
So, what's your lockdown been like?
Absolutely boring. Going this lockdown here.
Really?
Sí, senor.
So, what are you planning to do next?
¿Qué? I know nothing of the sort.
Let me rephrase that. What kind of new material do you plan to do next?
So I plan to go back on tour to Spain and Mexico and travel to UK and the US when I get better at the English.
Right, before we cut to a break, is there any new English jokes that you're learning?
No, senor Fox, I speak no good English. Gracias for having me on the show, Senor Hawks.
Not a problem, Manuel. Safe travels. Up next, we have our final guest, Inspector Cluso, joining us for a chat. See you in a couple minutes, folks. Hello and welcome back. Now, our final guest this evening has come all the way from France, the star of the Pink Panther films himself. Please welcome Inspector Cluso. So Mr. Cluso, welcome to the UK and of course, welcome to the Late Night Show.
Merci, Monsieur Hawks.
So I must ask, how do you pronounce your first name? Is it Jacques or Jacques? I do apologise, I'm not good with names.
It's not a problem. Most English get my first name wrong anyway. It is Jacques. Jacques Cluso.
So, Jacques, what did you get up to in lockdown?
You want to know what I did in lockdown? Absolutely nothing. However, I took my dog out for walks and on one occasion, he bit me.
Your dog bit you? Did he really bite you? Or are you just over-exaggerating?
Yes, of course my dog bit me. My hand's in this protective glove because he bit me. Jesus. Also while in lockdown, it was snowing and it was freezing cold. No, seriously, it was cold. Cold enough to freeze the nuts of a monkey's bone.
Wait, don't you mean monkey?
That's what I said. Minky.
Okay, I believe you. So, what do you plan to do next?
Well, I plan to do another Pink Panther or Inspector Cluso series if the Pink Panther diamonds get stolen again.
What about your other line of work, You know, as an officer of the law in France.
Oh, it's going really bad. In fact, I got fired before COVID because I was attending to what I thought was a blind man who did not have a musician license. But in fact, it turned out to be a decoy for a bank robbery.
Well, many thanks for coming on to the show tonight, Inspector Cluso.
Not a problem, Monsieur Herbs.
Well, that's all the time we have for tonight, folks. I want to thank our wonderful guests. I want to thank our wonderful studio audience. You've been amazing. And I want to thank our audience at home for tuning in tonight. Thank you and good night.